Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Well, the iPhone has been released now for, well, about 4 or 5 hours, and already I'm seeing a lot of people posting to their blogs or twittering or posting YouTube videos of the iPhone unboxing, and they're just so freaking excited, and there are really few reasons to be excited. Now, while the iPhone has got, fantastic elements to it, as an overall purchase, it is about the dumbest thing that you can do right now. And I explained in a blog post earlier 20 reasons I'm not getting an iPhone today, and I'm going to read through them now. I watched a video from CNET, Brian Cooley, an old friend of mine. At least I think we're friends, and hopefully we'll be friends after this. He was going gaga, seemingly, over, or just remarking about the way that the box top lifted off the box, as if it was just, this is indicative that the quality of the iPhone is unmatched. And I was screaming at my screen so much that someone in the chat room, a guest in the chat room, told me to watch my language. But it's just insane. I mean, he's remarking about the way the top of the box lifts off. Give me a break. I don't know what you're smoking or what Apple has put in your apple juice, but hey, whatever it is, I'd like some, because I wish I was high like that every day. I'm not picking on Brian in particular, because I've seen a million, seemingly, other videos of just fanboys and girls screaming, "Oh, the iPhone!" But then I'm also noticing blog posts coming up of people complaining of issues already, beyond the issues I'm about to dive into here, with the 20 reasons why I am not getting an iPhone today, possibly not for a while. So let's go into it. Number 1, it rains a lot in Seattle, so no phone is worth getting pruned over, and true to form, it rained in Seattle today. It rained all across the region, as a matter of fact, and I saw some YouTube videos of people documenting that. I'm sure other parts of the country were fine, but hey, I'm here. 2, I don't need to give people another reason to beat me up. Well, that's a little sarcastic. However, if you noticed that Fox News clip earlier, and it's making the rounds if you haven't seen it already, essentially a reporter is giving an interview, or doing an interview with a reporter from Business Week over his iPhone. He was one of 4 people that got an iPhone to review. I don't know if that was a payola thing or what. That wasn't quite clear. But some random guy runs up and grabs her mic and runs off. And it was not violent, but geez, can you imagine the fury of these fanatics just wanting it so badly that if you happen to have one, I mean, you remember people used to get killed, and they probably still do, over their shoes? You know what? I don't need that stress in my life. Do you, Wicket? Do you? No, he doesn't either, so. Number 3, despite the Apple brand, I'm confident iPhone 2.0 will be more my cup of tea. Now, I realize that Microsoft gets blasted all the time. Wait for version 3.0, and sometimes that happens to be true. But there are so many shortcomings in the iPhone, inherently, that just make it a bad consumer product decision right now, that it's just not, it's just a bad decision altogether. And like I said, I've detailed some of them, and if you don't believe me, start watching videos and reading blogs of gadget fan blogs and even people who couldn't wait for the iPhone and are ready to return it. In fact, I believe Callie Lewis from Geek Brief TV has 2 iPhones and will be returning them to the store. I haven't seen that video yet. I don't know if it's been uploaded, but I'll be watching for it. And I'm not an Apple hater. Believe you me, this video is being streamed over OS X. I've got an iPod. I am considering switching to OS X. I think, from Windows. I think that Leopard looks to be a fantastic operating system upgrade. Certainly a better alternative to Windows Vista. So I'm not saying Apple's bad. I'm just saying right now the iPhone is so beyond overhyped that you need to think before you walk into a store and plop down hundreds, if not over $1,000. To change your experience that may not be for the better. Okay, so let me continue. 4, going from 3G to Edge is like going from DSL to dial-up. I mean, the Blackjack that I have, a Samsung Blackjack from Singular or AT&T, is not a perfect device. I've complained about it, but you know what? It does get the job done, and it is on the 3G network, which does take battery. But having 3G is wonderful from a mobile device. Edge, if anybody on the planet can tell me that Edge is better than 3G, I'd be surprised, because it's an impossible argument to win. 5, can't replace the battery? Is that a feature? Oh my god. Give me a break, Apple. Give it up already. Number 6, I'd rather find a sponsor for it and the plan instead. That's an expensive device. If I can find a sponsor for it, sure. If someone out there wants to buy me an iPhone with a plan, I'll put your logo in the crawl down here by the chat. I'll do some things for you, no problem. But I'm not willing to fork over that money directly. Number 7, buyer's remorse will set in after bragging rights are no longer valid. Now, just let's think about it. There are even some stores right now that still have iPhones in stock because the mad rush wasn't as mad as I guess they were expecting. Imagine maybe 2 weeks from now, iPhones, are plentiful enough, and the people who purchased iPhones suddenly realize, wow, my older device is better than this, and it's a lot more convenient for me to carry 2 devices than this one device that does some things well, but some things that are fundamentally, I think, core for the experience of a mobile device, not very well. And buyer's remorse has already set in for some iPhone purchasers. You need to do your research, people. 8, it's still unclear on the Windows Outlook integration. Now, maybe that's just, my lack of finding information, but since no one's had an iPhone or specifically talked about this issue, I don't know how well it's going to work with my current data workflow, and I happen to live pretty much inside of Outlook 2007 in a non-exchange environment. Number 9, do I really need to make Steve Jobs any richer than he already is? Do you guys realize that he has the iPlan, or the plan that you have to purchase to use the iPhone on AT&T service? Jobs made it a separate, I guess, Ponzi's home, hopefully not with an iPhone. Do you realize that he created a separate, if not company, then division, so that he would get a percentage on all sales? I'm not saying that's actually a very smart thing to do. It's very smart. It's very intelligent. I don't fault him for that. But, he's not the underdog that people think he is. I'll leave it there. Number 10, do I really need to give AT&T any more of my money? AT&T has a history of billing problems. I'm on AT&T now. I switched from Verizon to AT&T because they had better phone choices. I liked the fact that I went to Verizon. Well, I've been on many networks, but I went from Verizon, which had a phone that I wanted at the time, to Singular / AT&T now, because the AT&T, not just the data plan was cheaper, but the phone selection was wide and varied. I can get a smartphone, I could get a Pocket PC, I could get a Nokia device, and I've raved about all 3 of those operating systems in the past. Now, at this point in my blog, we have the Blaff comic, which if you haven't subscribed to it, it's right there on the website. It says iPhoney in the Apple style, and I think this is actually more accurate than we originally designed, or at least Brad did when we came up with it. Number 11, I'm already sick of the hype. And I wasn't even sick of it until now. Seeing these people unbox it and act like they're unboxing the Holy Grail or like Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what I'm expecting. Like someone lifts it off and all of a sudden, and their face starts melting. I mean, seriously, it's a freaking phone with iPod functionality. It is not an amazing phone. It's just not. I realize you can't talk back to the video, but let me finish. Number 12, my current mobile device, a Blackjack, is working just fine for me. The Blackjack is a Windows mobile device. I'm on Windows. It does what I need. Not amazing. I have my complaints. I have my complaints about every phone, but its shortcomings, the list is far less than the list of shortcomings for the iPhone that I've seen, at least what I understand and what I know in my lifestyle and what I've seen specifically from gadget freaks and communications freaks. They're not thrilled about this device either. Number 13, my current iPod is not broken yet. It's not broken. Why do I need to replace it? I don't. Number 14, I've tried touchscreen phones before and hated the experience. Now, I realize every touchscreen is different, but every time I've tried to type in letters on a device that I don't have actual feedback, button feedback on, it drives me insane. It just drives me batty. More importantly, I am still not sure if the locking mechanism on the iPhone is completely secure in your pocket. I had issues that I had to download third-party software for an old Pocket PC that was just a touchscreen because it kept unlocking itself in my pocket. And so I don't know if there's, what the complications, if any, are with a touchscreen device beyond not having tactile feedback, some type of really buttons on the actual device itself to really feel which button I'm actually mashing. Don't know how well that works, and I don't know if any people are going to be complaining about that. So that's why my mind is on hold. Number 15, I'm afraid of dropping something that's worth more than my TV set. I'm just saying. How many times have you dropped your cell phone? That's a heart attack waiting to happen. Number 16, and maybe this is just a little biased, but I'm going to broaden it a bit. No support for Windows mobile software solutions that I have. And specifically in my list, I mentioned Slingbox, which I recently installed, as you saw in the video the other day, and really enjoyed the experience of watching, live TV streamed in over the Blackjack or over any kind of Windows mobile device or Palm devices. They have support for that too. I'm sure Slingbox at some point in the future is going to have support for the iPhone. It is a given, but right now I looked on their website, couldn't see anything, and then like I said, I'm going to expand that and say a lot of the software that I use on the Windows mobile device is not available for the iPhone. Not to say there's not replacements for it right now. It's just knowing that what I have right now isn't broken. So, number 17, unsure of the iPhone media recording experience at this point. So I don't know if you can record audio and video. I've seen some reports saying you can't even record video. Now, the video recording experience on the Samsung Blackjack, and I'm not trying to draw comparisons between the Blackjack and the iPhone. There is no comparison. They're different devices altogether. But I can record video on this thing, and I can record video on a phone that's 2 generations behind this thing. So, I don't know. I've heard that you can't, no video, just pictures. Okay, I'm out. That's enough for me. The fact that it does not have video support and has 8 gigabytes of storage on it is asinine. Go ahead, argue. Go ahead, tell me why you think that it's fine that the iPhone that costs how much money? How much was it? $500, not including service plan, maybe more? Tell me why you think it's perfectly fine that it has a camera and 8 or 4 or 8 or however many gigabytes of storage and does not record video. Defend it. Go ahead, defend it. Sorry, you can see I'm getting upset because so many people it's beyond the hype now. It comes down to a consumer decision where you could be spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a device that you simply do not need. It's not against Apple. I am hoping that, like I said, at point number 3, despite the Apple brand, I'm confident iPhone 2.0 will be more my cup of tea. It's just right now. It may not be the smartest decision for you to make. Don't get caught up in the hype. Number 18, there's no iTunes content subscription service yet. And this is a personal bugaboo of mine. I happen to have the Urge subscription for Windows that allows me to play just about any album without having to download and purchase it every time. Granted, I can't really get that service on a mobile device wirelessly, but I'd rather have a music subscription service tied to my mobile device, whether it was a phone or not. Like an all-you-can-eat plan rather than an a la carte. That's just the way I consume music. Because I don't buy music and then listen to it. I think, you know what? I'm in the mood to listen to some Doors, or They Might Be Giants, or Weird Al Yankovic, or you name it. So that's what really holds me back from the whole Apple experience. Number 19, I'm waiting to see how many Apple fanatics return theirs. And this kind of sounds similar to some of the things I've already said, but really, I want to see what people are going to do now that they've got it. Now they've unboxed and freaked out on the web. I almost guarantee there's someone excited about it today, just raving about the iPhone's this, that, and the other thing. It cures world hunger, and now it reverses global warming. It's the awesome this thing since sliced bread. I bet you anything, within a couple weeks they'll be posting something talking about how it was one of the worst decisions they ever made. Number 20, why should I? Seriously, why? And that's an answer to the question of 20 reasons I'm not getting an iPhone today. Why should I? Why should I get an iPhone today? I've seen very cool things. I mean, I'll give Apple this, man. I was hooked on those commercials. I was going, man, that's sex in your hand. I mean, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, Apple sells sex, and that's exactly why I love them. That's exactly why I am rooting for them. I'm pulling for them. But the iPhone, I'm sorry, everything I know about it, and being with my background and my integrity on the line, even if I wish they would have sent me one, but even if they did, I cannot sit here and tell you with a straight face that it is a good comprehensive device. The phone's usability is questionable, especially given the other selection that may be available not just within AT&T's network in terms of the phones they offer, but other networks as well. You've got to find, the bottom line, you've got to find the phone, not so much the plan, the phone that best fits your lifestyle, whether you're on the Mac, whether you're on the PC, whether, whatever frustrations, and I hope, I really do, I challenge somebody, not today, because you're probably still caught up in emotion. I haven't purchased, so I've got different kinds of emotion. Well, I guess if you want to post it today, that's fine, but you will probably change your mind. Give me 20 reasons why you got an iPhone today. Give me legitimate reasons. I will accept them, and that's fine. It's a discussion. It's a dialogue. I'm just saying, all these people are freaking out. It's on everybody's mind. It owns techmeme.com. I mean, just to the nth degree. A lot of my friends were in Palo Alto, which I came back from just this week from a couple of conferences, waiting in line. In fact, Robert Scoble, best man at my wedding, good friend, good guy, true geek, was first in line at the Palo Alto store. I'll be very interested in hearing what he has to say about this week from now. In fact, I challenged Robert Scoble directly to give me 20 reasons why he got an iPhone today. Beyond the hype. I mean, maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's an excuse. But you should never make a purchasing decision based on hype. Ever. That is a colossal mistake that you're going to pay for with your pocketbook. So I realize that, got a little emotional there, but I just don't want anybody to get caught up in the hype. If you're going to get an iPhone, fine, but do it for the right reasons. Do it for your own reasons, but do it for the right reasons.